day.
Yeah, it is like that. How is the weather over there?
It's nice. Yeah. It's a nice,
Okay.
it feels like fall now, right? That little
Mhm.
extra bite to the air. But no, I think it's 24 maybe, something like that. And sunny.
Yeah, that's good.
How about you?
Here it was cloudy, now it's sunny.
Oh, nice.
Just
Better
a
get
few
outside.
minutes ago, it was cloudy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
People have been waiting for 10 minutes today. Only
Oh my
two.
goodness.
But
Okay.
both regular.
Okay, sounds good.
I will let them in.
Thank you. All right, I'll let everybody have just a minute to settle in. We'll get
Yeah.
started.
You can start up today any day.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. It's Julie from Motion Rehab and Fitness. Thanks for joining me today. Today for equipment, we're going to do a little bit of kayak paddling. So if you have a dowel, broomstick, a cane, an umbrella, something that will space your hands apart and is fairly rigid, that is perfect. So that is our ideal for our cardio section. We won't need that yet, but just so you have it handy. And then today I'm going to be using 1 or 2 hand weights. So just small hand weights. Um, if you don't have that and you have water bottle, soup can, something else that provides a little bit of resistance, or if maybe you have a shoulder injury that you're working through, you decide you would rather do the exercises but no resistance, that's totally fine too. So I'll be using 1 weight for most of class, and I might add in some options for 2 weights a couple of times. So just keep that in mind. And other than that, I'll always have some water handy, so you can have a drink whenever you need one, and I'll cue you a few water breaks as usual as well. So you can be back on your chair with some back support to start. And we usually have the option of going to eyes closed here as we begin. So if you want to just kind of turn your attention inward for a moment, and we're going to do the beginning exercise where we focus on 3 different body parts. So the first one is the spine, and more importantly, the length of our spine. So we're going to start sitting really tall in our chair by taking a big breath in and stretching the crown of our head up towards the ceiling. And then a nice even breath out where you maintain most of that length. So we're trying to be nice and tall, and the crown of our head is more to the back of our head. So you're thinking about drawing kind of the back of your head towards the ceiling, not so much that you tip your chin forward, but just so that it sits nice and tall, your skull onto the top of your spine. So a few more breaths in and out like this. Good. One more like that. And then we're changing our focus to the rise and fall of our chest. You're welcome to take your hand there if you like that extra bit of feedback. Where every breath in expands your chest, so big breath in, and then every breath out fully allows for an exhale. So big breath in to expand through the chest, and an equally big exhale. So this one also might make you feel like you sit a little bit taller in your chair. Because we already have that length through our spine with our first focus point, we have a little bit more ability to fully inflate our lungs than we do when we're in a little bit more forward curved positioning where our rib cage is a little bit closer to our hip bones. So we're a little bit caved through our midsection. Good, last one like that. And then our third focal point is the rise and fall of our belly, as if you can fill it up with a big breath of air. So you can take a big breath in, filling up your belly with air, and then an even exhale where your belly button actively pulls towards your backbone. So that's a big inhale, belly fills up with air, and a big exhale, belly button to backbone squeezes all that air out. So this is now engaging through our core muscles. We've already gotten lots of length and lots of room to breathe. And now we're adding this extra piece to get some good core muscles warming up, ready to help us as we continue our class today. Good. So we'll do one more like that. Awesome. And then from there, you can open your eyes if you are comfortable with that, or you can keep them closed if you like for a little longer. We're going to draw those tiny circles on the ceiling with the crown of our head. So nice long extension through the spine, just like we were doing for our first warm-up breathing exercise. And then we're going to go back the other direction. Good. Last one like that. And then we're going to go 3 times per direction in a nice big circle. So a nice big head and neck circle, 3 times one way. And then 3 times the other. Good. When you come on back through center, we are going to do just a few shoulder checks on their own. So we'll add a little bit of rotation to this in a moment, but just give me a shoulder check side through center, side through center. And as much as we have back support here, we still want to use our core muscles just a little bit to help stabilize us as we move this way. So the rest of our body staying nice and still as we take these shoulder checks. Last one each way. Awesome. All right, come on back through center. If it's available to you to move slightly forward on your chair, you're welcome to do that now. So we have to work that little bit harder to keep core support if we don't have the support of our chair back, or you're welcome to stay at your chair back if that's what you need today. Shoulders are set. We're gonna do one arm and then the other, so pick a side. We're gonna do a fairly high row to start with. So just reach and row one side. And then we're going to move crossbody just a little bit. So you're going to move crossbody to add a little bit of rotation. And the rotation is coming mid-spine through my thoracic spine. So I want it to move there and my hips to stay more or less even in the chair. So I shouldn't have to shift my hips much at all to get this movement. Good. Let's do one more for now. We're going to come back to this move in a moment. In the meantime, shoulders set. Same arm is going to go across body to your opposite lap to reach up and back through to your knee on that crossbody side. And we're going to add an option of a little bit of a neck warm up and a change in gaze as well. So you might look up towards those fingertips as they reach up towards the ceiling. So make this as slow as you need to be able to track this with your eyes as well. Last 2. And 1. Good. Reset that shoulder. We're going to start on same side lat now to press back behind us with an option of rotation and a gaze change as well to look kind of back past our hip on this side. Try to keep those core muscles engaged. So we are still keeping our hips more or less facing directly forward. Rotations coming through that mid-spine again. 2 more. And 1. Good. And then I have one last thing to do on this same side arm, and then we'll switch it up. So now we're going to reach upward cross body. So you're going to reach for something that's just kind of beyond reach on the opposite side of your body. Maybe you're also looking up towards that hand again. And just moving within your own range. If this doesn't feel great for the shoulder and you want to come lower, that's totally fine. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, let's see if I can remember all those things for this other side. I'm going to say I can't. I don't hardly remember what we did first to begin with. We did our row. We did our row. So we're on our second side arm right now to forward row. Okay, and then we added a bit of rotational row at a chest level point. So we didn't go too high for this one. Good, we'll do 2 more here. And one. And then I believe we did our upward reach next. So we started on our crossbody lap and ended upward on the same side, reaching towards the ceiling and maybe tracking as well with your gaze. Good, two more. And one. All right, and then we move that hand back to the same side lap to start our back press with an option of a downward gaze past your hip. Again, the rotation is coming through mid-spine, so hips are staying more or less forward facing for this. Good, let's do two more. And one. Good. And then I believe our last thing, I might have missed something, but it is our upward crossbody reach. So we are reaching kind of past our face, and maybe we're watching that hand reach as well, so looking upward. Good, two more. And one. Awesome. All right, before we start the next part of our warm up, I just want you to kind of reseat yourself, if I can use that word. So nice and even side to side. Give yourself a little wiggle as you need to until you feel like you're evenly weighted from side to side. Maybe that means also checking in with your foot placement. So feet are nice and evenly on either the floor or on the foot pads of your chair, depending. And I haven't given little reminders too often lately on safety points, but best to have the wheels of your chair locked for pretty much everything that we're doing today, just to make sure that you stay where you need to be for this. So hands are on your lap. Let's do a little bit of hinge work here on its own. So I really want you to engage through those core muscles as you hinge forward. We'll have a few options for hinged exercises as we paddle with our dowel, and also probably for one of our resistance exercises with the weight as well. So our hinge, maybe just stop at your lower hinge position for a moment and just check in with your spinal position for a moment. So we still have that nice long spine, just like we did when we were seated up tall in our chair with back support, which means that the top of our head, our gaze is not down at our toes right now. It's slightly forward. It doesn't have to be all the way forward to look at your screen, but at least slightly forward to keep that length through your spine. All right, so since we're there, let's just do a couple more hinged reaches as our last warm-up. And we're gonna go cross-body for this one too. So you're gonna hinge and reach cross-body, so we get that little bit of rotation as well. Good, just two more on this side. And one, and then switching it up to the other. So one hand on your lap for support if needed. The other one is reaching crossbody for something that's kind of mid shin level. We got two more. And last one here. All right, we're getting ready to do our paddle sequence next. We'll kind of still ramp our way into that. So you can grab your paddle-like object, again, whether that's an umbrella or a cane or a broomstick, or whatever works for you. And we'll take just a moment here to use this as a bit of a guide for posture again. So we already kind of reset our seating so that we're nice and even side to side. We're gonna take the paddle at lap level and as wide as it allows you to be. So a little more than shoulder width apart is perfect. If your object is not that long, that's okay. And I just want you to do a gentle press down on your paddle to give yourself a little bit more height. So again, we're doing a little press down to elongate through our spine, keeping our shoulders low, and release. We'll just do two more like that. And last one. Good. All right, and then let's do just a little bit of hinging with the paddle. So now we have both of our hands busy with the paddle, so we don't have as much front support as we did when we were just doing our hinging exercise before. So give me a reach without a hinge to start with. Maybe you're at your chair back, that is fine. That is where you'll stay if you need to be there today. And then if you're able to come away from your chair back, even a small amount, we'll just start to get that little bit of hinge and reach happening. And because we're moving slower right now, we can pay attention to the muscles that are working and how our shoulders are set and all that good stuff. So long spine, shoulders are set low, so down, as opposed to creeping up by my ears. Last one here. Okay, and then we're gonna do one more thing like this, then we'll get paddling for real. So arms are out front, just above lap level for this one. We're gonna do paddle over and then rotate, come back through center. Paddle goes side, we rotate side, come back through center. These can both be very small moves. They don't have to be big. So again, we're focusing on the rotation coming through mid-spine. So hips are staying evenly weighted on the chair. And again, that foot placement, if you're able to put a little bit of pressure, just a tiny bit through your feet to kind of keep that stability, it's a good time to do that now. Last one each way. Good. All right, we're back through center. I need a quick drink of water. If you do too, go ahead and we will get started with our paddle. I am going to do the 1 minute timed run through, so we'll do that. And we'll aim for 3 times for sure of our sequence here. And if we get a 4th one in, perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to start right in to our first minute, and it's just going to be a quick paddle. So nothing fancy here. 1 minute on the timer. Nice. No, not 1 minute on the timer. Sorry. 45 seconds on the timer. Forgot what class I was teaching for a sec. It started now. We always do 45 seconds. Let's keep it at that. I like that timing. Good. All right, I don't trust my timer. Keep going. I'm just going to make sure it's actually doing what it needs to be doing right now. There we go. Now I can see it. So nice quick paddle. This is our first one though. So quick is, of course, a relative term. However, it feels good for you. 10 seconds left here. 3, 2, and 1. For the next one, you have the option of being a little bit forward on your chair. We're going to do that forward press like our hinge and then an upward press. So you can get this one going with very little to no hinge if you like. Lots of arm work here. Or you can hinge forward and get a little bit more core engagement out of it. So we're doing 4 different exercises in this sequence, and then we'll take a 45-second break. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, our next one is our long paddle. Sometimes we do this as a bit of a pattern, but this time we're just going to do the long paddle. So depending, you can go quite quickly, long paddle, or you can start to slow it down and focus more on that side flex. So more on the side-to-side movement of your spine and the engagement of your side abdominals. So I'll let you decide which of those feels best today. About 10 more seconds left here. 3, 2, and 1. And similarly for our last one, we're going to do our long reaching paddle to the front, where maybe you're aiming for speed, shoulders facing forward, or maybe you're aiming for a little bit of rotation and extra movement as you potentially hinge and rotate. Okay, so we're just finishing off. This is the fourth and final of this sequence, and then we'll take a 45-second rest break in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, reset. Maybe shake out your shoulders, grab a drink of water. If you would like to keep that paddle moving and keep your heart rate up, you're welcome to it. Or take a moment to reset. Make it so my timer actually makes noise when it goes off, so I don't have to keep looking at it. All right, so we have about 20 seconds left before we start that whole pattern again. And we just started with our quick paddle. So again, if you feel like you want to keep your arms moving, keep the heart rate going a little bit more, we have 10 seconds left before we officially begin again. 3, 2, and 1. So picking up the pace to whatever is a comfortable, close paddle. So fairly close to your lap, side to side, making room for the arms of your chair, whatever else you need to do to make this a comfortable move for you. Good. Lots of core support here, but it's happening so that we don't rotate in this particular instance. Shoulders are staying away from our ears. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Our second one we're moving into is our forward press, upward press with option of hinge. That upward press is still keeping our shoulders away from our ears. So we're only pressing as far as we can while keeping our shoulder blades set in place. Good, we have 10 more seconds on this one. 3, 2, and 1. All right, our next one was our side reaching paddle where we had the option of staying nice and upright or side flexing, maybe slowing down the move a little bit if you're side flexing to get that little extra bit of reach with each side to side paddle stroke. All right, keep going. We got about 10 more seconds left on this one. We have one more before our rest break again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then coming to our last one of this sequence, which was that forward reach, a big reaching paddle stroke to the front, and maybe reach with rotation and hinge. So lots of options here. You can stay at your chair back and just reach or reach and rotate as well. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come up tall. Reset. 45 seconds to catch your breath, stretch it out, grab a drink of water. Maybe shake your head back and forth or side to side. Drop your chin to your chest and either just let it hang heavy there or shake it back and forth there as well. And then come back out through center. We're ready to start again. This will be our last time for today. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So here's our nice closed paddle. Adding some speed as you like. Yeah, we often do 4 sequences of these exercises, but we're just going to do 3 today. I want to make sure I leave myself time for the weights that I had planned for today. We got 10 more seconds left here. Done in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, our next one was that forward press, upward press, where you have the option of hinge and then a big reach with our shoulders staying set in position. Okay, keep going. Almost done this one. 10 more seconds. Done in 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Our next one in that sequence is that long side to side paddle. So shoulders stay low. Maybe you're adding that little bit of side flex. So if you're side flexing your oblique muscles off to the sides of your torso, just above your hip bone, are working pretty hard to help bring you back through center every time and keep you stabilized on your chair. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. And finishing off with our last exercise, which is those big forward reaches, upright, hinged, and or rotating. Almost done here. This is our last one. After that, we'll chat about what's next. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Come on up tall. We're going to keep paddle in hand just for a little bit longer. So shake out your shoulders. Maybe give me some shoulder rolls to the back. And I don't know about you, but I find that probably my front shoulder muscles, front deltoids, are some of the muscles that kind of feel like they work the hardest in a paddling sequence like we just did. So let's give them a tiny stretch now. We'll do more for that later, of course, when we're officially stretching. But take the paddle, one hand up, one hand down, and press the downward hand back, using the paddle for a little bit of guidance. So if you're up tall in your chair with your shoulders tracked down your back, you should hopefully be feeling a little bit of that stretch through front shoulder and maybe down through your bicep as well. And then you'll come back and do the same on the other side. So this hand that's not, the arm that's not getting the stretch right now, gives a little bit of gentle pressure if you need that, just to get a little bit farther into the stretch. And it gives that stretching arm a chance to actually, do the stretch without a bunch of other muscles having to work hard to kind of hold it in place there. Good. Bring yourself back through center again. Paddle is back through center. We're going to do one more exercise that's quite similar to the one that we did in our sequence. It's one of my favorite ones for core to do with paddle in hand, and that's our circles. If you're able to be slightly forward on your chair for this one, we definitely have the opportunity then to sit back and hinge forward. But if you need to be at your chair back, still lots you can do to engage your core here. So shoulders are set. We're doing a forward circle or a circle. It doesn't really matter which direction you go with the paddle. And then you're going to start to add as much movement as is available to you, where you're keeping your spine long and you're really engaging your core the whole time, both as you sit forward and as you sit back. Making sure that you're taking nice even breaths here. We often hold our breath when we're doing core work, and that's not great. So let's keep nice even breaths. And then you're going to reverse the direction, go the other way. We're going to do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're done with the paddle for today. You can set it away. Again, grab a drink if you need to, and grab 1 weight, please. There. Okay. 1 weight in hand. So bicep, tricep is our main focus for today. We're going to use our front deltoids as well to help us out a little bit and get a little more workload out of things. So you've seen this one lots before. We're going to start with a regular bicep curl where our palm is facing, actually let's turn palm facing in to start with. So a hammer curl positioning, palm is going to face in the whole time towards your midline as you come up and down. If you need to adjust and come a little bit wider in your positioning because maybe you have the arm of your chair that's there, that's totally fine, or fairly close to your body if that's easy for you to kind of reach in your current setup. Good, so we're just gonna do 3 more here. 2, and 1. Awesome. We're gonna switch to the other side and do that as well. So yes, let's get that settled and then we're going to kind of switch back and forth a few times. So actually before we start the second side, I will say if you typically use some kind of support to help with grip strength while you're holding weights, you could technically have both weights supported in your hands right now and just switch back and forth between which side you're using. It'd probably be easier than having to like re-Velcro every time between. So if that is something that you're using, that's something to keep in mind and maybe have both weights in hand. I will be switching a few times here. So shoulders are set, core muscles engaged, palm facing in, just about forgot about that part, all the way up, all the way down. So our hammer grip for this first round. Elbow stays pretty close to our side the whole time. And we're making sure we go all the way down to full extension of the elbow, so down to your side, even though we don't feel the weight kind of work as much there. 3 more. 2, and 1. Good. Okay, we're coming back to that first side again, and we're changing things up a little bit. So first side now, we're going palm facing forward. As you know, if you take my class often, this is one of my favorite exercises right now. I think it's just a good functional exercise for us. It adds some bicep strength, but it also adds that good postural set position to protect our shoulder as we reach for something in front of us. So that's what we're going to do now is a half curl and then a press out, in, down. We also get some core support that's needed here for this one. So that's another reason it's one of my favorites. That's 2. We're gonna do 8 in total. 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're getting tired, remind yourself shoulder stays low. 7. Maybe the moves get a little bit smaller. That's okay. Last one. 8. Good. All right, switching that up to the other side again. Palm is facing forward, core muscles are engaged, shoulder is set low. It's going to stay there for through the full sequence of 8. So here we go. Half lift, out, in, down. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7, and 8. Awesome. Okay, so that was 2 sets of bicep exercises. We're just going to end up doing 1 set of tricep, and we're going to do that one now. So I did give you the hint that we had the option of a little bit of hinged work with our resistance work as well. So this is your option to do that now. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my setup a little better. And I'm going to let you decide right off the get-go which of these 2 you do, where you can switch back and forth between the 2, halfway through if you need to. We're going to do 10 in total of our tricep kickbacks, where option 1 is shoulder set. We've already done bicep curl, so we don't need to start up here, right? We can start at our right angle and go from right angle just past our body to the back to full elbow extension. That's my tricep working. All right, so that's our option 1. Our option 2 adds some core work and a hinge to get a little bit more of gravity working to make this a bit more of a difficult exercise as we press back. So we have to press back and work a little bit harder to kind of push through space here. So I'm going to start counting right now our 10, okay? If you've already done a few, you can take a rest after you've done 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Come up tall if you have been hinged. Set those shoulders, switch the weight to the other side. Same thing applies. I'm going to stay up tall for this next one. I'm not going to hinge, but if you liked the hinging option and you want to go for that here, that's good too. Again, reminder, if you're hinged, right from the top of your head down to your tailbone is a nice long line. So that means you're not looking at your knees, you're looking probably 2 feet in front of your feet right now. Okay, starting at that right angle, because we don't have to do more bicep curls, and pressing back. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, so I have 1 more exercise that kind of has a few pieces to it that we're going to do. And it has to do with our core, but more with core stability than with doing movement when it comes to our core work. We did quite a bit of that when we were paddling, and with a couple of, like the circle exercise that we did afterwards as well. This one, you have a couple of different options. I don't want to offer too many because we only have so much time, but we have a couple different options to see how it feels as we have an object in our hand and we move it closer to or farther away from our body. So I'm going to start with my back fully on the chair for back support. My hips are evenly weighted on the chair. And this is a bit like kind of our setup for paint shaker, but we're not actually going to do the paint shaker today. Shoulders are set, and you're going to take the weight and move it maybe no more than a foot away from your body. So this is a nice hopefully, comfortable position to be in, but you have to use your core muscles to help you here. I don't want this to be a low back exercise. I want this to be core support. If this feels easy, move the weight a little farther away. Keep it low, more like belly button level than chest level. And then if this feels easy, move it to full extension out front where your shoulders are still set. Now, if that still felt easy, we could have two weights in our hand and still do the same thing. But in the effort to save time today, we're just going to do this. Okay. So if that was challenging for you, you're going to do that exact same thing again. You're going to keep at the 3 distances, or maybe 2 if that felt best for you, and hold at each of those 3. If you would like a little more challenge and you're able to come slightly forward away from your chair back, we're going to not have as much support now, so we have to work harder through our core and keep that length through our spine as we do this same exercise without the support of our chair back. So we're going to go about a foot away from our body. My elbows aren't tucked close. They're just kind of loosely at my sides. And then from here, engage through your core. Tell it to work almost all core and almost no low back. And then if it feels good, take that weight a little further. If that feels good, take that weight to full extension. And if that feels good, take that weight and move it up to chest level. Readjust as you can. 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring it down. Okay, that's our weight work done for today. I'm gonna grab a quick drink of water. You can too if you like, and let's get ready to stretch. So yeah, the one point I wanted to make with that last exercise is that our core muscles work or can work just as hard to stabilize us when they're not moving as when we're doing kind of like crunching sort of movements, right? With movement, we still need lots of core support here. Okay, we are going to stretch out now, starting with our back and hips. If you need to be back on your chair for back support, this is going to be a stretch where your hands are on your lap and you're pressing gently into your lap as you come into a really tall position. So we're just getting that extension through the spine. If instead you're able to come away from your chair back, you're taking this to a hinged position. Doesn't matter how low you get, just a little bit of a hinge, and then that same feeling of extension where your head is pulling one way and your tailbone is pulling the other. So nice long line of extension. And then come back up nice and slow or reset. Good. We are going to stretch through our biceps next. That stretch, they're a little bit tricky to stretch, but we're going to take our arms and press them back behind us and then roll those thumbs in to face each other and maybe push back just a little bit farther. Take some breaths while you're here. Good, and then ease your way back through center. We're gonna do that same one more time. Shoulders stay set. Arms are extended out front with thumbs facing out to start, and then thumbs roll in and press back just a little bit farther. A little bit of a gentle bicep stretch here. Good, ease your way back through center. We have 2 different ways to stretch tricep. The more effective way to stretch tricep is up and over on the same side. So reaching for your same side shoulder and then pressing that elbow towards the ceiling, either with your hand overhead or off to the side. Just make sure your head stays neutral in its positioning. If your shoulder does not like this, it is not getting a comfortable stretch, you're gonna go cross body for the stretch instead. We get a little more rear shoulder than we do tricep, but if it's more comfortable for you, then it's worth it to do that instead, okay? So either of those 2 stretches. Good, and then resetting that to do the same on the other side. So 2 options here. Number 1, up and over, pulling that elbow a little bit higher towards the ceiling. Or option 2, if this just doesn't feel right for you and you want to go crossbody instead. getting a little more of that rear shoulder stretch. Okay, good. Ease your way out of that one. We're gonna do a little bit of spinal stretch now, and we might get a little bit of chest stretch in the mix here. I'm gonna move forward on my chair. I'm gonna give you an option for a little bit more movement that may require you to be away from your chair back in a minute, but always just an option. Both hands on same side lap. We're gonna do this as a little bit of a coordinated breathing exercise too. So don't let me rush you through this if you're, taking some nice even breaths in and out and you're not finished before I switch to the other side, just finish what you're doing, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna go breath in to come tall, breath out to rotate. Breath in while you're here and out, and then a breath in to come back through center again. Reset. Let's do that again. Breath in to come tall. Breath out to rotate. Breath in while you're here. And out. And in to come back through center. We'll do one more on this side. Good. And then we'll switch to the other side and do the same. So both hands on same side lap. We're going to come breath in. Exhale to rotate. Have a breath in and out while you're here in this rotation. And then come on back through center. We'll do that 2 more times as well. Breath in. Exhale, rotate. Hang out here for a breath. And then come back through center. And let's do that 1 more time. Good. All right, so I said that I would give you one option of adding a little bit of chest stretch to that same exercise. If you need to be back on your chair for back support, you might do the exact same thing we were just doing, with or without the coordinated breathing part. If you would like to add a little bit of chest stretch, one side, the side that you're going to rotate towards, has your hand either on hip or in your back pocket. I don't mind so much if you liked that breathing sequence and you want to keep with that, go ahead. But otherwise, we're going to pull our elbow back and then rotate a little bit. And then come on back through center. So you're welcome to do that with some breathing. If you find like the back of your chair is just in the way for this and you'd like to be back on your chair, grabbing onto the chair back, if your shoulder allows for that, that's another option. Good, so we'll do one more on this side. All right, and then we'll do the same on the other side. I've decided for me with this chair, I like it better to kind of hold on to the kind of low rail of the chair and go from there. So elbow back. Good, you'll move through that and do it 2 more times. So coming back into a nice rotational stretch. And last one here. Awesome. Okay, we are going to finish off with the breathing exercise, the same as we did at the beginning of class today. So you can come for full back support now. Still nice and tall through the hips, through the spine, but with some support so that you can focus on your breathing and relax a little bit into this one. So eyes closed is an option, always an option. And I think we're going to actually start in reverse. So we're going to start at our belly breathing, taking a breath in like you're filling up a balloon, and then taking a breath out to pull all the air out, belly button to backbone. So breath in fills your belly up like a balloon, and breath out squeezes out all the air, belly button to backbone. We'll do about 2 more like that. And then we'll move our attention to the rise and fall of our chest. So a breath in expands your lungs, rises your rib cage, and a breath out to maintain most of that length, but do a full exhale. So big breath in and out. We'll do two more like that. And then we'll finish off our breathing with reach to the crown of the head towards the ceiling. So a breath in, getting a little taller in our chair, and a breath out, maintaining most of that length on the exhale. So breath in brings the crown of our head fractionally closer to the ceiling, and a breath out, full exhale. Two more there. Awesome. All right, let's finish off class as we always do. So you can take your eyes to open. We'll finish off with a reach down towards the floor and then a big sweeping reach up towards the ceiling 3 times. Big breath in as you reach up. One more. Again, thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or just want to chat, you can hop on. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Ken. Nice to
See
see
you
you.
next time.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, that was fast.
I know. It really does go by fast.
Yeah.
All
Okay. See you
right.
next week.
Go enjoy the sunshine.